Hi everyone, I'm Mariana Cardona and welcome to our podcast. Today we have a guest to talk to us about an important topic. She's a student, but I'm not giving you more information. I'm letting her introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Salma Osta. I'm in 7th grade and I study at the Montessori Cartagena school.
Today we are gonna talk about biochemical cycles. This is a very interesting topic because it helps us to understand how the nutrients and other elements move between biotic and abiotic factors.
You're absolutely right, Mariana. It's very important to learn about biogeochemical cycles and other topics from biology. I'm excited to share with you about these things and tell you everything that I know about this.
Thanks again, Salma, for being here with us today. Let me ask you a few questions so our audience can understand more about this.
Of course, Mariana, that's the reason we are here today.
My first question for you is, how will you define the biochemical cycle?
I will define it as the movement of the nutrients and elements through biotic and abiotic factors, as you said before. Did you know that the term biogeochemical is derived from bio meaning biosphere, geo meaning geological components, and chemical meaning the elements that move through a cycle?
Very interesting. And how does it work?
These cycles demonstrate the way in which the energy is used. Through the ecosystem, these cycles move the essential elements for life to sustain. They are vital as they recycle elements and store them too, and regulate the vital elements through the physical facets.
Now that we know the base concept of biochemical cycles, I'm going to ask you about which are them. So, could you tell us please how many of them are and their names?
So there are six of them: the carbon cycle, the hydrogen cycle, the nitrogen cycle, the oxygen cycle, the phosphorus cycle, and the sulfur cycle.
Ah, there are a lot of them. The one that keep my attention was the carbon cycle. Could you explain to me a little bit about this?
Yeah, sure. So the carbon cycle is the process that moves carbon between plants, animals, and microbes, minerals in the earth and the atmosphere. Carbon present in the atmosphere is absorbed by plants for photosynthesis. These plants are then consumed by animals and carbon gets bioaccumulated into their bodies. These animals and plants eventually die, and upon decomposing, carbon is released back into the atmosphere.
Wow, I didn't know that. All I knew was that carbon was the element number 6. What about the hydrogen cycle?
The production of hydrogen from water by renewable energy storage and use of hydrogen in fuel cells, combustion engines, or turbines. The hydrogen cycle begins with the evaporation of water from the surface of the ocean. As most air is lifted, it cools and water vapor condenses to form clouds.
The oxygen cycle and the carbon cycle are the most important ones because all the beauty factors can live its own. Can you explain the nitrogen cycle?
The oxygen cycle is one of the most important biochemical cycles present in nature and comprises production and consumption or utilization of oxygen in the environment. The oxygen cycle begins with the process of photosynthesis in the presence of sunlight, releases oxygen back into the atmosphere, which humans and animals breathe in the oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide, and again linking back to the plants.
We have two cycles left to finish, the phosphorus cycle and the sulfur cycle. Could you give me the definition and how it works?
The nitrogen cycle is a biochemical process through which nitrogen is converted into many forms, consecutively passing from the atmosphere to the soil to organisms and back into the atmosphere.
We have two cycles left to finish, the phosphorus cycle and the sulfur cycle. Could you give me the definition and how it works?
So the phosphorus cycle is a cycle that describes the transformation and translocation of phosphorus in soil, water, and living and dead organic material. The sulfur cycle explains the movement of sulfur through the geosphere and biosphere. Sulfur is released from rocks through weathering and then assimilated in microbes and plants. It is then passed up the food chain and assimilated by plants and animals and released when they decompose.
So that's all for today. But remember, we still have a lot to learn about biology. Hope you listen the next chapter. Bye.
Bye. See you later.